Hello everybody. This is video number 3 of my bipolar project, and today I want to talk about control. Control is a big thing for us. Most people have basic control over their lives, their emotions, their thoughts, their reactions to things. We don't, which I think is one of the hardest things that is for other people to understand. I have very little control over my reactions to certain situations. Um, Too often, my mind is working too fast for the rest of me. So I'll do dumb things like trip or like I mentioned last time, talk too fast or run into things or it's just a number of problems that it creates. But even more often than that, my reactions come long before my mind has a chance to process the consequences, and that's where the real problems begin. Is that I either speak or react before I think about the situation. Um, so the consequence of that is that I need to have control. Um, I need to have control over everything else around me. I need to have control over anything and everything that I can have control over. Um, New things and experiences are very hard for me because I have no way to control the outcome or the situation. Um, I need to know every detail of everything so that I can control my own reactions to the situation. Um, a good example of this is I will actually, a lot of the times, I'll wiki watch a movie before I actually go watch it. And what that is that I'll look it up on Wikipedia and read the plot before before I go and see the movie. So that I basically, a lot of times, so that I can see whether I'm gonna cry in it or not, to be honest with you. um the unknown of certain situations adds to my anxiety. And I think this comes from several things. The need to have control comes from several things. If I could have control over a situation, um there can be no surprises. There can be no chance at all of me getting hurt or of somebody hurting me. Um, if I know how something is going to work out, I can be better prepared. Um, at first, to be honest with you, this was a defense mechanism, probably from years of bullying during middle school. Is if I know what's going to happen, I am better prepared to defend myself, or to protect myself. If I know what a bully is thinking, if I know how they're going to attack me, I can attack them before they attack me. Not the best of situations, but it is how I got to this point. Now, while that's deeply ingrained in me, because of my mental health and because of those years of bullying, I'm kind of trying to take a step outside of myself now and think about things a little bit more clearly. So now I'm still prepared to defend myself, because again, that's just a gut reaction for me. I'm actually trying to also find a better way to react to the situation. So oftentimes when I react without thinking, it leads to a bigger problem. I'm either embarrassed, or I've hurt somebody that I love, or I've created a bad situation for myself, either with a family member or at work, which is not ideal, and it does not help my mental state at all. So now if I can have control of a situation, I also have a little bit better control over how I'm going to react. I have that chance to say, hold on, what is going to come out of what you're about to say or how you're about to act. And the reason that I need to have control is the more chaos that is around me, the more chaos that there is in my own mind. What this has created is it actually has made me a little bit obsessive compulsive about my personal space, either my desk at work or my own home. My desk at work, if it's not clean, if everything's not where it's supposed to be, if there's not some type of organization, to the point where basically like every Monday and Friday or several times a week, I have to go through and organize everything that I'm doing. I will have to absolutely stop what I'm doing and make little stacks. This is incoming, this is outgoing, this is bills, this is whatever. Otherwise, nothing is going to get done. I'm not going to be able to do anything at all. I'm going to have that sense of anxiety. I'm going to basically waste the day away, either worrying about something going wrong, worrying about me missing something, or me trying to find something that I have misplaced, or just with my mind wandering with all the thoughts that have come into it. I will not get anything done at work, which is very, very bad. If my home is a mess, I could become very distracted. I become very anxious, very angry, because I feel like I've lost control of my space, and therefore I've lost control of my own life. I mean, it even affects me physically to where I can't relax because there's a tiny coaster out of place. I can't relax, I can't rest, I can't sleep, and so therefore I'm always tired, and usually that kind of recreates a downward spiral to where then everything starts falling apart for me. So unfortunately, my poor family has to deal with me blowing up every time like a cup is out of place, or somebody forgot to take out the trash, or that one little thing has made me completely lose control over everything. So what I have to work on is understanding that I do not have control. I cannot control how other people act. I cannot control what other people think. I cannot control situations that are just going to arise. I can't control the weather. I can't control, anybody, any person really has no control over anything but themselves. The only thing that I can control is how hard I try to make things easier for myself. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the times I have no control over my thoughts or my feelings or reactions, but I do have control as to how hard I try to make it easier. So I'm kind of my own test subject, like with a scientist and a test subject, because I have to study myself. I have to analyze myself. What sets me off, what calms me down, what can I do to not create a bigger problem for myself? What kind of consequences will my gut reaction create, and is it worth it? A lot of the times, again, we are acutely aware that we are not like everybody else, and when you feel that way, you feel like people are constantly attacking you. So it's instinctive for us to automatically lash out and defend ourselves and protect ourselves. But a lot of times that is not what's going on. And so then we actually create the situation we were trying to avoid. We attract more attention to ourselves, and then people that maybe weren't even thinking about it start wondering, what is wrong with this person? So I have to stop and think, is my reaction to defend myself going to create a bigger problem for myself? Right now, my greatest tool is silence. It doesn't mean that I keep things to myself, because that is not a good thing whatsoever. You will eventually blow up. But what it does do is that I was very used to, again, because of the bullying situation, I was used to being really quick with it, sarcastic, and just come back with a comeback right away. Which again, a lot of times created a really bad situation for myself. So now what I'm trying to do is stay quiet and give myself a few moments to think and analyze the situation. Initially is what I do, is I stay quiet. If I can give myself just a few minutes sometimes, maybe even a day, to think about what happened, what set me off, what is upsetting me about the situation, oftentimes I can talk myself into not reacting in a negative way and creating a bigger problem for myself. Now, this is also where everything is a very delicate balance. I think that being bipolar oftentimes makes us very selfish, and so we're so involved in our head and our thoughts and our feelings that we don't think about other people. So there is kind of a balance there as to trying to be nice to another person and trying to be nice to ourselves. It's having consideration for another person while at the same time doing what is going to be best for you. Some people don't like me being quiet because normally it's the people that already know me, that know how I usually am. So this is a difficult thing for them to deal with. They know that I'm angry and they get upset because they're like, oh, you get angry right away. Well, I can't help that. I can't help getting angry right away, but I can help my reaction to maybe starting a fight with you. And that's where I have to say, I don't really care that you don't like that I am quiet, because ultimately me being quiet is creating a better situation for all of us. It's me having the power and the control to give myself the time to analyze the situation and help prevent a bigger problem. So give yourself that time, before you react. I know there's a lot of times that we can't. There's a lot of times where it just comes out of my mouth, and as it's coming out, we're like, wait, stop. But try to stop yourself a little bit. Try to kind of swallow those angry words, swallow those angry actions for just a moment, and think about, if I say this, if I do this, am I creating a bigger problem for myself? Am I going to hurt somebody that I love? Am I going to hurt myself? Give yourself that time to analyze what is going on around you and what consequences you're willing to deal with, before you put yourself in that downward spiral. Things will get better and easier if you try to do this. It's not going to work all the time. It's not. I cannot emphasize enough how much we will fall. This is very hard for us. We will break, we will fall, we will have slip-ups. But the key thing here is not to give up. Yeah, if you fall, if you do have that gut reaction to where you make things worse, then take that as a learning experience. What could I have done different? What could I have said different? How could I have made this better for myself and everybody around? But if you can, try to exercise that as much as possible. Think about what you're going to say. Think about what you're going to do before you do it. And believe me when I tell you that life will get so much better and things will get so much easier for you. And as always, remember, you're not alone. Okay? Good night, everyone.